Hello, my name is Jerry Wise, and I'm a therapist at Family Tree Counseling Associates in Carmel, Indiana, in the north end of Indianapolis, Indiana. I want to bring to you a video entitled Loving an Adult Child of an Alcoholic. Recently, I've had a number of people contact me from all over asking me to share more about how they can do action steps to help improve their relationship with someone they love, either a spouse or a boyfriend, girlfriend, who's an adult child of an alcoholic. Simply, an adult child of an alcoholic is someone who has grown up in a home in which a parent was either an alcoholic or drug addict. And there are very similar traits, behaviors, and that result in adulthood as a result of this childhood. Why this is so important, I believe, because 1 out of every 5 people is an adult child of an alcoholic. So that means it's 18% of Americans have grown up in alcoholic or drug-related homes. The ACOA you fell in love with was a caring, passionate, and then all of a sudden they seem to be angry and distant. And then we feel confused, frustrated, stuck, and sometimes even hopeless. What can I do when I care about and love someone who's an adult child of an alcoholic? What I found is that relationships do better when there's greater insight and greater awareness about ACOA issues. When couples come in to see us, we want to provide for them a very direct explanation about their childhood and what they should look for and what their experience has been if they grew up in an alcoholic or drug-addicted home, and what it means for them to be an adult child of an alcoholic or a drug addict. ACOAs tend to become stuck in damage. And I think that's, but they're not alone. Most of us tend to be stuck in damage. But certainly those who grow up in alcoholic or addicted homes get stuck in their damage, and they carry that over into adult relationships. In other words, childhood experiences affect adult relationships and adult reactions. If we understand the damage, we can provide and we can improve our relationship with the ACOA. If we can understand that damage, we can understand how we might be able to relate better to the adult child of an alcoholic. The 2 core childhood experiences for the adult child of an alcoholic is 1, an off and on type of relationship within their family and with their parents. And second of all, a roller coaster family life. If that is normative for you when you grew up as a child, then you're going to carry that on into your adult relationships, your marriages, your partnerships, those that you're dating. And we find the relationship is off and on, and it becomes very roller coaster-ish. For those who love and live with an ACOA, we need to see them in realistic ways and adjust our expectations for our relationships with them. Often this helps improve the relationship dramatically, just by adjusting our expectations and by gaining some insight and awareness to ACOA issues. Let's take a couple who have spent years struggling about their social life. Mary is an outgoing wife, very gregarious, loves friends, wants to go out, wants to have a good time with others. And Bill is a homebody, very anxious about meeting new people. Mary and Bill have argued for years about this pattern. And Mary has felt Bill has been selfish and self-centered because he won't go out and do things that she wants to do. She seems like he's just self-centered and unwilling, not to go out much. He doesn't like to socialize with her friends. She takes this very personally. Bill finally gets some help and is diagnosed with severe generalized anxiety disorder. And he gets treatment, which helps him tremendously. How do you think that changes Mary's expectations and perceptions of Bill? She has more realistic expectations about Bill's behavior. They also then can work together better to achieve a more balanced social life. Do you see that example of once someone understands someone better, they really can work together better in achieving the relationship they want to have. The same is true for the ACOA. The more we know about our spouse's struggles and our spouse's struggle, the more we can work together with them to achieve a happier marriage and more intimacy in our married life. Remember, the ACOAs live and create self-fulfilling prophecies in which they are unworthy of being loved and they feel very unworthy as people. These are strong imprints that they received when they were growing up in an adult alcoholic or drug-addicted home. Relationships with adult children of alcoholic tend to move from loving and passionate to angry and distant. This roller coaster is common in marriages with one or more ACOAs. Then it becomes even more complicated if both spouses grew up in alcoholic homes. ACOAs are known for hypersensitivity and hyperreactivity from growing up in an alcoholic home. They learn in this home as children that they are unworthy and unlovable. They may not voice this, but you may find a lot of their reactions come out of those two core beliefs. So if we believe they are lovable and we believe they are worthy, that can go a long way for reducing tension, stress, and even conflict. So what can we do to improve our relationships with the ACOA spouse or partner? And I think the one main goal that I always teach couples, and it's simple, but it's not easy. Staying calm, staying centered, and staying non-reactive. That is the state we wish to achieve. Because if we become anxious and reactive, and if we get thrown off of our center, then all kinds of problems result from that. Let me recommend a great book that I strongly recommend to folks. It's called Loving an Adult Child of an Alcoholic by Douglas and Deborah Bay, B-E-Y. It's M. Adams Publisher. I think it was written back in 2007. I really, really strongly recommend that book. Let me share 4 of the Bay's actions they recommend and share 3 of my own actions, having worked with ACOAs for 35 years. Number 1, be an active listener. Listening increases calmness and less reactivity. Remember, the ACOA often never felt heard, was not listened to, and was not permitted to talk or to share inner feelings within their family of origin, and this was one of their early imprints, and often were criticized for their beliefs and feelings growing up. So listening is a very, very important part of healing and having a healthy relationship with an ACOA. Number 2, validate and give feedback. That must have made you angry. You must have been sad when that happened. Did that feel shameful to you? I want to be sure you know what I was feeling and thinking when I said that to you. When you said that to me, it sounded like you felt angry. Was that true? This kind of validating and giving feedback is crucial in ACOA relationships. Thirdly, the Bays recommend, and all counselors recommend, use I statements. The ACOA spent years being talked to like this. You are stupid for doing that. You made me feel this way. You are such a bad kid. You talk like that again, and I will show you who is boss. You. You statements often ignite a lot more reactivity and shame and conflict within a relationship with an ACOA. Share your feelings and your perspective from an I position versus a you position. I have many couples that come in all the time. Couples often talk like this. I wish you would treat me special and ask me to spend time with you. Comes out as, you never talk, you always do what you want and never think about me. Instead of sharing our feelings and wants, we accuse the other of not meeting them and throw accusations at the other. And again, this is the ACOA and dysfunctional family pattern. This is what's normal for the ACOA, and it causes the spiral to go round and round again. Fourthly, clarify your needs and clarify your compliments. Make sure that in a calm time, not during argument time, that you share the needs or desires that you have and share those in a calm way with your spouse. Also, when it comes to compliments, make sure compliments are clear, and compliments are never a bad thing in a relationship. And I find that couples have a hard time receiving compliments. They have a hard time giving them, especially when they become resentful or angry or upset within the relationship. But I think expressing those are very important. They work against a dysfunctional pattern. Fifthly, and these three are mine, work to get your family of origin issues out of the relationship mix. Work to get your parent or caregiver's imprint out of your relationship with the ACOA. Deal with your hurts of the past growing up. The more those are out of the relationship, the more clear the relationship becomes, and the more mature and adult-like it becomes. Sixthly, learn to translate the language and behavior of your ACOA partner. I like using a transactional analysis model, which is simply a model which allows us to read actions, behaviors, thoughts, words that come from another person. Is this coming out of their adult, their child, or their parent? Is it coming out of, again, their adult state, a mature state, their inner child or wounded child state, or critical parent or parent state? If we can kind of learn to read their behaviors going through this model or this prism, I think it can help us understand them better and help us to react less. There's a good book, Games People Play by Eric Burns, which describes that more for you. Or John Bradshaw talks a lot about the inner child experience, and I would recommend learning more about your inner child and how that inner child communicates. 7, identify the ACOA's role in their family. Can help as a shorthand to understand your spouse. In other words, was your spouse, who was an ACOA, were they a hero when they were growing up, which is the over-responsible spouse or the over-responsible ACOA? Were they the scapegoat In other words, they did the acting out. They were the black sheep in the family. Were they the mascot or the placater or the comedian in the family growing up? Or were they the lost child, Did they take on the lost child role in which they were the adapter and basically kind of the invisible child within their family of origin? It can be helpful to understand them through these role models to understand their behavior much more. And also opens up ways in which we can relate to them in a more positive way. It may not be easy to be married to or love an ACOA. However, getting help can make life a lot more fun. Relationships can be a lot calmer. And our feelings can increase, and getting love and giving love can increase tremendously by getting help. Come to see me in my office or contact me and we can talk via Skype. My contact information is on the screen. I hope you'll join our YouTube channel, Family Tree Counseling channel on YouTube. Thanks for watching the video. Have a great day.